Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for episode 111 of the MeepleCore Gaming Podcast. I am your host, Tim Jennette, the Metal Meeple, and I'm joined by my co-hosts,
George Breden.
And in this episode, we talk about the board games Dice Minor, Sanctum, Calico, and Dune, and much more. Intern Alexa, ask a random question.
Here's a question for you. What's your favorite holiday?
Oh, that's a cool one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I've got my answer immediately.
Go ahead.
It's Halloween.
Oh, yes. Same here.
Absolute favorite. Yeah.
So what's your, this would have been more appropriate if she actually brought that up around Halloween and not like February.
Yeah. It's Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I know,
that's
right?
not my favorite.
Love to horror. So what's your favorite thing about it?
The school that I'm working at right now, they don't do Valentine's Day. They do Friendship Day, which is, I actually think is better. I would rather do that than Valentine's Day myself.
I think for schools, that's pretty appropriate because you are promoting like friendships. You're not trying to like start relationships with young kids,
Right.
So
exactly.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah. If my kid, if he was in middle school or elementary school or something, Friendship Day is way cooler. But then the only problem with that is if you don't like equally give stuff out to people, then like those kids are like, well, why didn't he give me something,
Right. I mean, either way, it's a problem holiday. It's just
right.
It's this made up, Hallmark holiday.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of it, honestly. I mean, obviously I get some stuff from my wife and everything, but I don't think this is a day where we go out and celebrate by like reserving a dinner and, getting all this stuff and presents and stuff. No.
Not me either. Yeah.
And if you do it, that's cool. I mean, every couple's different.
Yeah. Right. No, you got to have something, but
yeah,
whether that's a certain holiday or not, but I'm sure you're doing something. But anyway, so back to Halloween. Halloween is not a made up holiday. It's necessary. There's evil spirits out there wandering the earth. You got to protect yourself.
That's fair. So what's your favorite thing about it?
I just love the costumes. It's almost like everyone just takes on a role, It's almost like everyone's role playing, which is just kind of amazing and hilarious.
It is amazing and hilarious. I kind of am like you. I do like the costumes. I'm a huge fan of cosplay.
Yeah, it's just fun.
Yeah. I cosplayed a bunch of characters between maybe 99 to 2006-ish, maybe 98. So, they have like 6 or 8 years there. I did, I don't know, a dozen costumes or so.
Okay.
One of my favorite ones was I was Strider from the game Strider. If you're not familiar, he's like the blue and red ninja dude that has a big sword. He runs real fast and swings his swords real. You know what I'm talking? It's like an old Sega Genesis game.
He can run up the wall. He runs so fast.
Yes.
It
was such a cool costume because my friend's dad was really good at woodworking, and he actually made the weapon out of wood, and then I painted it, which was really expensive because at the time I was super into painting miniatures.
And you use miniatures paint?
Oh, yeah. I use like Citadel paints, and this thing is like 5 feet tall. I use like 3 bottles of like gray, and those are like $3 a pop. I mean, at the time it was like more like $2.50 or so, but still, I could have just went and got some Apple Barn paint at Walmart for a few bucks and like covered that thing 10 times.
Yeah. Duct tape.
Yeah. Mistakes were made.
Oh, that's cool.
But
I haven't done any cosplay actually at all. But I do love Halloween. I'll do Halloween. So
yeah, Halloween's really cool. I like the idea of I like the trick or treating stuff. I think it's fun, mostly just because of the way people decorate their house. And so when you're out, for a while there, I wasn't going out because I was, obviously 30, but like having kids and stuff and being able to take them, it's kind of neat because you get to see everybody's decorations, and it's just like a fun little time. And man, I just love all the cool decorations. Obviously, we have a skull in the logo because it's like metal.
Exactly.
So,
it's perfect.
Yeah. Like I like horror movies and stuff like that, but I don't really.
I love them.
Yeah. Yeah. You have stories.
Yeah. I love these. Yeah.
When it comes to Halloween, I don't sit down and like watch horror movies because I feel like I watch them all year long anyway.
Okay. You just watch them whenever they come on.
Right. Right. Or, no, I don't watch anything on TV. What are you talking about? Anything I purchase, like I'll just throw it in. I don't care what type of day it is or what season or whatever.
Yeah.
If I want to watch, a horror movie, I'll watch a horror movie. I'll follow up with a comedy. That's fine. Whatever.
Okay.
But so when it comes to Halloween, my point is I'm not focused so much on the horror movie aspect and sitting down watching creepy movies and such. I like the costumes and the creativity and everything. Yeah. Before COVID, we went to costume parties and everything, and it was just so cool because you get to see all these people's costumes. I mean, yeah, obviously some people buy theirs, but it's much cooler when people make their own costume, even if it's like crappy in comparison to what you can purchase. It's still better than buying a costume because it's, something you wanted to create, even if it's like some kind of character you create.
You got the creativity going there.
Yeah.
I love that every year people come up with like really clever ideas, something topical and, yeah, it's great.
Yeah. It's such a fun holiday.
So do you have a favorite horror board game?
Do I have a favorite horror board game?
Yeah. Or do you like any horror board game?
A couple of years ago, we did I think it was Matt and I, so maybe it was definitely during the first or second year of the podcast. We did a top 5 horror board games for Halloween, and I don't remember any of them. I know I have some, but I guess being thrown out there without thinking about it, it's really hard. Horror board games and space board games are two themes that I don't feel like I have enough interest in. It's really weird.
Okay. Yeah, it's not a theme that grabs you too much.
Right. I
think the last horror board game that we played together was The Thing.
The Thing. Well, we played Who Goes There, which is kind of The Thing.
Oh, it's definitely The Thing. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, we actually played The Thing, the one that Matt had, the Outpost game.
Yes. Yeah.
That was fun. I don't really consider that like a horror game though, because the theme of the game was more of like a hidden traitor. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, yeah. But it's based on a classic horror movie, so.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, Nyctophobia is more horror themed than a lot of those games. Because you got this, like, mask on, you can't see anything, and.
Yeah.
So it's got the scare factor where you put your fingers out and you have to feel around. You're like, oh no, the vampire.
That is a cool experience. It really is.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Yeah.
Or the axe murderer, whichever version you're playing.
And it comes down to the same thing.
I guess Dead of Winter is a contender for me.
Okay. That's a fun one. Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. Is it horror or is that just zombies? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, mine I've mentioned before is Luna Lena. And or Luna Yena, I guess is probably how you say it, but it's a werewolf theme, and that's a really good one.
Yeah, have you yet to try that out?
No, we do need to play that. We keep saying that. And then recently it's been Phasmophobia on the computer. Man, that game is fun. That
game right there. Yeah, when you talk about video games, I have a list of horror games like Resident Evil 7. Dead Space. I don't know if you ever played that one.
No, I never have. I wish I had.
Oh, it's so good.
I need to play it. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever looked into it?
I know it's a guy out in space and there's like different kinds of mutilated bodies basically that are crawling around attacking you.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's got a lot of jump scares, I think, but it has some really good stuff. The first one is amazing. Second one so far, I'm only like halfway through it, although I haven't went back to it in years. So I guess really I don't know anything about the second one. But the first one is really, really cool.
Are you playing it on like a Xbox Pass or something like that?
No, I own all 3 of them for PlayStation 3.
Oh, okay.
But you can get them on Steam.
Oh yeah, that's what I'll have to do then.
Oh, absolutely. And play them in order. I don't remember if they're like a continual story. I don't think you have to play one to play the others.
Yeah.
But the problem is if you play it backward, they change some of the mechanisms or mechanics of the game. And like, for instance, in the number 1, you can't really shoot and walk. It's like old school Resident Evil where you bring out your gun and you're like stationary.
Oh, that was the worst.
It was worse. It's unrealistic, but it adds to the fact that, you can't get away from stuff.
Yes, that's so good.
And then I can't remember if they did it in 2, but I know in 3 that you can move and shoot. Now you're slower when you move around,
Yeah, much slower. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I would definitely play them in order. Maybe get the package where it has all 3 of them. I think that that has that. But I like the first one a lot. Basically, they're on some kind of mission. I can't remember if it was Mars or whatever, but they find this big red crazy statue and they don't know what it does. And then this ain't really a spoiler alert because it happens at like the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
But it basically is like messing with everyone.
All right. Well, I'll wait for the Humble Bundle.
Yeah, that's fair. That'd be cool if it showed up. So let's quickly talk. I mean, now that we're a weekly podcast, we don't have to do this part very long, but what you been up to since last week?
I'm going stir crazy because it's so cold and snowy out here. I can't get out and just go for my long walks anymore. And I'm just stuck in this like little studio and working all the time and can't exercise. And it's driving me mad, honestly. But I'm watching a lot of TV, not just normal TV, but what I'm doing is I'm learning Irish Sign Language. And so I'm watching on the RTE player, the Irish television. They have every Wednesday, they have, programming that is interpreted. And so they have archives of that. And I've been going through that and that's been a lot of fun, but it's getting old. I need this weather to break.
I hear you.
Yeah.
It was so cold. I mean, now we have like a sheet of ice over everything. And I was taking pictures of the trees and, up close plants. Like,
right.
You know what, like, was it monkey grass? Do you know what that is?
No.
It's like a small little bulb of grass that's in a bundle of maybe like 100 strands, and it kind of goes up and flares out. And you put like a thing of that like every 6 or 8 inches, and it just kind of looks kind of neat, right? We have some of that. Okay. The point is though, it's just in its normal, shape, but now covered in ice. So it took like a pretty
amazing.
Cool. Yeah, it looks awesome. It's probably killed all kinds of stuff in the yard. I mean, the backyard has a lot of like fallen branches and everything, which is kind of sad because 1, I have to clean it up. But 2, our backyard, man, those trees are 40, 50 feet tall. They're really old trees. So, I mean, it makes sense they're going to break.
Are they in danger of hitting the house?
No, we took all those down.
Okay.
Even though we had one that was called a sugar maple and it's really awesome. It got hit by lightning a few years ago. And it's just been dying ever since. And like half the tree was like dying. And that's when the limb fell off onto our second deck that's not attached to the house, which I laugh every time I say that. The guy who lived here before us was a carpenter. He worked for like the lumber company and he just built. I have so much deck. I think it's like
he was just practicing.
Dude, it's like I have like 2,000 square feet of deck because it's like 7 layers. Have you ever been in my backyard?
No, man.
Oh, that's true. I guess when you come over, it's always dark and
it's always night. I never see it at all.
Man, so the deck goes across my entire backyard, like the back of the house. Yeah. Then there's another 10 by 10, or no, it's maybe like 6 by 6 deck that's up by the kitchen. On the other side of the house, there's 2 more levels that go down, each one being about a 10 by 12 and a 10 by 11. Because the deck,
you feel like you walk out your back door and you're like on a ship or something.
Right. Well, it's because my backyard is sloped, maybe like a 25 to 30 degree slope. And so he just built a bunch of flat deck everywhere so that you can
never stopped.
Yeah. So you can just have entertaining spots and stuff. And I guess, I don't know what he was doing, but there's another deck that's maybe 15 by 15 or maybe it's like 15 by 18. And it has a small little, like it goes up the hill. And it has like another 6 by 6. And I think his idea was he's going to attach that to the rest of the decks. But right now it's just like by itself. Anyway, a tree fell on it. So that's pretty
crushed.
It destroyed all the railing. And then since it's set there under that sugar maple before the thing fell, the wood was kind of rotting and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I didn't, there was really no way to take care of it really properly because it was always in shade.
Yeah.
And so like you didn't have the sun to be able to dry anything. So it grew moss and mold, even though I stained it heavily.
No big loss.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a big deal if it goes away, but it was a really nice deck to go and have the kids run around on because it's kind of big.
Oh yeah. That could be their deck. Yeah.
Yeah. My idea was going to put siding stuff around the edge and make it into like a castle, like put the turrets and stuff. It would just be like plywood that I paint, but it would look really cool, but now we have to, now we have to just completely redo the whole thing. But now that we do that, we're going to make it even bigger because our backyard is basically unusable. It's like We have just over a half acre of land, and all of it's in the back. So the front looks so small, but then you look in the backyard, you're like, why is your backyard so big?
But it's all on a big slant.
It's like a valley, right?
Yeah.
It's not that hard to walk on, but you can't really build anything on it. Like, you can't put a trampoline there because it's too slanted. Unless you want to like project yourself like an angry bird down the. But there's like a creek, and then we have a bridge going across the creek that's covered, and it has
that's cool.
A gazebo past that with a swing on it. It's really nice. It's actually, next time you're over in the summertime, it is amazing.
I have to check it out.
I'm going to make a walking path around the border of a property back there, and for the kids to like hike.
Yeah. Great. Yeah.
Well, that was more explanation of that stuff than I thought I was going to do. So anyway, other than that though, I don't even know how we got on that now that I'm thinking about it. But what I've been up to past that is, what have I been up to? Oh, I subscribed to Apple Arcade on the iPhone and started downloading games. Right now I'm playing Oceanhorn 2, which is kind of like a Zelda game.
Okay.
Get about 20 minutes into it. It's pretty cool. And I picked up Tiny Epic Tactics at half price books for like $12.
Yeah.
Very excited about that. Yeah. And it was in shrink too. And other than that, I got to rewire all of my computer stuff downstairs. No cable is on the floor. It's all like strapped to the back of the desk and everything, because my desk's kind of away from the wall. And it looks so nice because you look down and you're like, man, there's like no cluttering cables anywhere.
Fantastic.
But we realized really quick as we started this podcast tonight that you're not supposed to run XLR cables or audio cables alongside power cords. This also includes network cables. You don't want to run them along power cords because the RF interference causes static. So if you got one thing I'd never do in IT is bundle like your network cord from your computer with your power cord and like twist ties. You know what I mean? Like you put cable ties around them so you can have this like conduit of cables. Don't do that because you're going to slow your network connectivity down, because you're going to have a lot of CRC errors, which basically results in static on the line. So it has to resend certain things.
Oh man.
The more you know, reading
That's
Rainbow.
Right. It's our PSA.
So anyway, you're going stir crazy. That's what we circle back to.
Absolutely. I'm absolutely going stir crazy here. Yeah.
Anything else that you've been up to since last week, or just normal stuff?
Just normal stuff. Just work and trying to keep the sign languages separate, learn an Irish sign language, and I'm working in ASL, American Sign Language. And so I'm trying not to contaminate one with the other. And it's a chore.
Yeah, you're saying sign language all around the world is like different languages in itself.
Yeah. It typically is, yeah.
That's rough.
So it's just funny sometimes when I get them mixed up.
Yeah, maybe it could be a sign language interpreter remotely for for Ireland.
Yeah, that's possible. Or I'll go over there, and be a remote interpreter for American Sign Language.
How many hours are they difference?
5 hours.
5 hours? That's not terrible. Yeah. That's not like 12 hours. That'd be rough.
No, exactly.
Because then you're night shift here.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anything else you want to mention before we head on to some news items?
No, that's it for me.
All right, I got one that I'm going to go over, and then we're going to run over some Kickstarters that you've got up. First off, today, Asmodee announced that they acquired BoardGameArena.com.
What is that going to do?
I don't know, but I will say this. So, Matthew Aguilar with comicbook.com had wrote an article about this, and he mentioned, and I'm sure there's like a press announcement, all this stuff from Asmodee, but this is the article I found, so credit to him. But basically they said that not a lot's going to change. The pricing structure is going to remain the same. You're still going to be they're still going to operate independently. They are not going to like change the management structure and change all the people to be Asmodee employees or whatever.
Right.
And all they're basically saying is that you're going to see a lot more Asmodee games show up and a lot quicker.
Okay.
And obviously,
I mean, that's a good thing, maybe.
No, yeah, for real. And they also mention on here that it's not going to stop them from making games from other publishers or anything like that.
Okay, that's good. But if I were the one who had just acquired something that was very popular and I wanted to calm everybody's fears down, I would say that too. I
mean, yeah, but realistically,
and in the future, it could totally change. We don't know.
It could, but remember all the doom and gloom with all the other Asmodee stuff?
That's very true. That's a good point.
You know, like no one cares now because it really didn't. I mean, yeah, I'm sure somebody can bring up something or whatever, but for the most part, it's not like they bought all these companies and killed off everything and, you know, only published.
Right.
They let IPs maybe die that they weren't going to reprint for 200 copies or something, which is sad because maybe the 50 people complaining about it won't get a copy of the game, you know?
Yeah.
Like, for instance, I don't know if this is 100% accurate, but I'm going to say it anyway. Like, when they bought Flatout Games, they were in works with possibly bringing back Dungeon Run, right?
Okay.
Or making a second edition or something. And I think that kind of just went dead because of the Asmodee Acquire. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know if that was actually 100% true or not. I just assumed, you know.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're like, yeah, don't publish a game that no one really cares about and 15 people actually need a copy. You know what I mean? Whereas a small publisher is like, cool, let's do it.
I'm not, too bent out of shape about that one not being republished. That's okay.
Oh. Did you ever play it?
Nope.
It's fun. I like it a lot.
Oh, well, I'm sorry for you.
I haven't, so I don't.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. Hey, if they bring games like Treasure Island onto Board Game Arena, I'm all about it.
That would be awesome.
Asmodee owns Matago, right?
Yeah, I don't remember.
I believe they do. Anyway, if they bring
they
Matago
own a lot
games,
of companies and let them run independently as like almost like they were investors or something. You know, they're not actually buying these companies and like making them all under the umbrella. Because look at Fantasy Flight, they're still doing their thing.
Exactly. Well, Fantasy Flight has all of these apps and things. So would they even need to bring their games to Board Game Arena? Would they? What's the point of having an app and Board Game Arena? You know.
I don't know, but some of the games they actually stated that were going to be on there quickly was Ticket to Ride, and I think they said Splendor's going to come pretty quickly.
Really? Well, they already have apps for those. Yeah.
But I mean,
so that's cool.
And then Pandemic.
Yeah, these are all the games they already have apps for.
Yeah, and then Skull is another one they mentioned.
Okay.
So, I mean, those are cool games and everything, and you can get them in 1,000 other ways. And I think that's their thing. Let's just put it on everything.
Yeah.
It's like Skyrim.
Well, cool. This could be good.
Yeah. I'm actually pretty happy for them. I think that it's a smart move business-wise, and as long as I don't think anybody, if you didn't know that they acquired them, and as long as they don't plaster Asmodee all over the place on Board Game Arena, then 6 months from now, you're going to have any idea. You're like, oh, sweet, Ticket to Ride. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly. Yeah.
So, all right, let's do some Kickstarter stuff and then we'll get on to some games.
All right. Just really quick. There's a game that is ending on Kickstarter by the time you hear this. And I'm still going to bring it up, not because of the game itself, but because they have a new sort of tech for the cards in the game. And that's a game by Roxley Games called Radlands. And
that looks awesome, by the way.
It looks great. The art is really bright. It's neon kinds of colors, which I typically don't enjoy, but I think I really do like the way they did it in this one. And the cards that they have are called Synth. It's their own brand that they've come up with. And so they're these plastic cards that you can bend and they come back into shape. So they say you don't need card sleeves, and the colors are super bright. At least the pictures that I'm looking at. I haven't actually had the cards in my hand. So, but if it works, that would be very cool. I hope it takes off.
I mean, they're pretty much, I would assume, using the same kind of thing as like playing cards that are made of plastic.
I don't know. I've never had playing cards made out of plastic. Are they?
Oh, they're pretty
good
common.
Idea, or are they bad?
You can play with them in a pool.
That sounds good.
They're really cool. They feel kind of neat and everything. I mean, you can't really do card tricks or any kind of cardistry stuff with them because they don't you can't flare them out in your hands or do any kind of like splays and stuff, but, or fans. But for the most part though, they're really nice. If you were going to buy one deck of cards and want it to last for a while, buying those plastic ones are really, really cool.
Yeah. That's what I'm hoping this is a really cool thing that it'll just be indestructible and,
they're kind of rough to shuffle. They're like, you know, but
yeah. All right. So that's one. I'm not picking up the game because I'm not really into like one-on-one fighting card games.
Oh, yeah.
But it looks good. And then there are 2 games that I'm interested in on Kickstarter. One is called Human Punishment: The Beginning. And this is a game that has been compared to Battlestar Galactica. And that's always a good thing. And it seems like it has a lot more going on than that. But it's basically a cyberpunk sort of a setting, Blade Runner, Ghost in the Shell kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's one of those games that is going to create stories. It seems like there's more going on than Battlestar Galactica had. You got more factions. They all have different goals that they're going for, so you can't trust each other, that kind of thing. Looks really interesting. Amazing art. Not really my thing, the whole cyberpunk thing, but again, I think this art has transcended what I usually dislike about it. So check that one out.
Sweet.
And then the second one, this is a game that is much more my kind of thing, and it's a storytelling game as well. It is called The Forest of Radgost, and this is a game where it's based on Slavic myths, Slavic folklore, and there's these 2 kids. They get lost in a forest, and you have to go on a search party to find them. But as you go through the forest, you're not really in control of your movement all the time, which is kind of a cool concept because you get confused. This is back, before anyone had a GPS. You don't know where you are. You're in a forest
right.
You've never been in before. So you're kind of wandering around at the mercy of these dice that you roll. And sometimes what you roll says, yeah, you get to go the way that you think you're going. And sometimes, nope, you're going the way the forest tells you. And then you have these encounters with all these different beings. And what's interesting about the Slavic myths is that they're very neutral. These characters, they're not really good or evil at first glance. You won't know until you interact with them how they're going to be, because they're complex characters. They could do whatever. They could be good, they could be evil, they could just be whatever. So I think that's kind of it's very different. I don't know a lot about Slavic folklore, and I think this would be a very interesting way to learn about that.
That sounds pretty cool.
Forest of Radgost. Check that one out. Okay. And then this is one that caught my eye immediately because I do this superstition. And there's a game about superstitions. So this one, it's called Rabbit Rabbit. And that's a superstition that I do myself. My family does this on New Year's. The first thing you say, when it strikes midnight, after you kiss whoever, right? is you say, rabbit, 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 for luck for the year.
I've never heard of this.
Right? I don't know where it came from. I honestly have no idea, but it's a thing, right?
I just usually yell the F word real loud so that I ruin my, my chances of no cursing for a year. Now that's a joke, but.
Oh, you're a pretty lucky guy. So there's another idea. There's another idea for you guys.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a game where they have 350 cards, all with different superstitions on them. And then it's like a trivia game. So here we go. I'm going to ask you a couple. See if you get these.
All right, here we go.
All right. If someone gives you a knife as a gift, you must blank.
Open it?
They give you a multiple choice as well. I wondered if you just knew that one, but okay. You must A, give them a coin. B, say thank you 3 times. C, give it back to them. D, stab the table.
Okay. Stab the table.
Why?
I don't know. I've had a lot of knives, and the first thing you do is stab something because it is. You want to see if it's really sharp.
All right, that's a good answer. But no, the answer is actually A, give them a coin. It's a symbolic form of payment.
These are weird superstition.
Right? Okay, here's another one. Okay, when you're in Brazil, I'm sure you are all the time. When you're in Brazil, always put blank in your cup before you pour your coffee, and someday you will become rich. Here are the choices.
Wait. Let me guess without it.
Okay.
Always put blank in your cup.
Before you pour your coffee. Yeah.
A pinch of salt.
Okay. That's not one of your choices. Sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
It's a good guess. Sugar, cream, your spoon, ice.
Well, cream actually makes the best sense. So I'm going to go with that.
Okay, but it's actually sugar. Good guess. Nope, it's sugar.
Aw.
Okay, third out of 4 here. In the British Isles, you shouldn't eat blank after Halloween. Okay. 4 choices. All right, do you want to take a guess?
You
You'll never
should
get
eat
it.
blank after Halloween.
Yeah, you'll never get this, but go take a shot.
Nutella. No.
Okay, here's your 4 choices. Blackberries, pumpkins, caramel apples, or gummy bears.
Caramel apples.
Okay. Yeah, no. You're not getting many points here. It's blackberries.
Huh. I wonder why. So your teeth don't look all crazy and rotten.
No, it's because
Oh, it actually explains it?
It does. I'm gonna see if I can enlarge it so I can actually see this and tell you.
All right.
Hang on, sorry. Okay, here we go. It's blackberries because a shape-shifting spirit named Puka, I'm sure you've heard of that. The Puka crawls over all the blackberries on Halloween night, and he covers them with an invisible slime. Which...
All right, then.
All right, and the last one is...
It only comes with 350 of these cards?
Yeah, it does. So the game wouldn't last too long, I guess.
Yeah, number one, I mean, that's a lot of superstitions. But in a game format, how many of these do you go through each game?
That's a good question.
You know, because if you got, 10 people and you go through like 7 rounds or 8 rounds, I don't know. It depends on how it is. Is it like Wits and Wagers style where you ask and then everybody writes down the answer on a card and you get points if you get it right?
I don't know. Let me see if I can find that. But first, let me just back up a second and explain. The reason you give a coin symbolically to somebody who gives you a knife is because otherwise the friendship could be severed by the knife. And yeah, and you should never give a gift of knives at a wedding.
Weird.
If you've ever considered that.
Because you might sever the marriage.
That's right.
Huh.
Yeah. I mean, it's maybe not a good idea just to give knives anyway, but okay. So number 4, last one, you're cursing someone. You're giving someone a curse if you step on their blank.
If you step on their blank, I'm going to say if you step on their genitals.
Okay, so your choices are...
I'm assuming it's not a body part. Wait. You curse them if you step on their journal.
Ooh, that's interesting. But I would accept that. But actually the answers are A, new shoes, B, table, C, shadow, D, purse.
Oh, shadow.
It's shadow, yeah.
I've heard that one.
Okay.
I said the journal in case you were a lich and your philacophy or whatever it's called.
If you step on somebody's shadow, you're stepping on their soul, apparently.
I actually have heard that one.
Who doesn't have a shadow does not have a soul.
Right. And that's kind of how vampires and stuff work. That's why they don't have reflections, because they don't have souls, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. That's right.
That's interesting. All right. Well, we went through a 10th of the game.
Yep. That's it. But it's interesting. Yep. Check that one out on Kickstarter if you like superstitions.
It's called Superstitions?
No, it's called Rabbit.
Rabbit. That's right.
Okay. Last thing I'm going to mention on Kickstarter, because I'm a little in shock at this. There is an owlbear plush toy that is being sold. Guess how much it's made so far?
How much?
312,700 something.
What? Why?
They wanted to get 5,000 because it's really cute.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
And people really like owlbears, apparently. But yes, it's one of those, why didn't I think of this? Well,
it could be like that guy. I'm going to make potato salad. I don't know what kind yet. And he ended up raising like $60,000 or $70,000 or something crazy.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on. So we got time to do the games we got here. Before we move on, we got some ways to support the show. As always, this one is actually pretty important. I'm going to tell you about it. Even though at this point you probably have already seen it, but on humblebundle.com, there is a bundle. It's the Asmodee Tabletop Together, which is spelled T or the number 2 together because it's the second, Humble Bundle with all this stuff. But basically, if you spend $1, you unlock Pandemic. Oh, these are all Steam codes for the PC. You unlock Pandemic, the On the Brink expansion. You also get Small World and the Grand Dames expansion for it and Love Letter. Right now, the average is $9.72. So if you spend $9.72, you also get, in addition to the stuff I just mentioned, Ticket to Ride, the legendary Asia expansion and France expansion. You get Splendor in both of its expansions, the Cities and Strongholds. You get the Be Not Afraid expansion for Small World, On the Brink Rolls and Events for Pandemic, and a 30% off coupon for the Game of Thrones board game app.
Wow, this is a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and $10, you also, in addition to all that, so if you spend $10 in total, which makes no sense because the average is $9.72. So if you spend 30 cents more, you get Terraforming Mars, Blood Rage, the Lord of the Rings Adventure Game Definitive Edition. You get the Cursed expansion for Small World and the Ticket to Ride Europe game. So
man, 6 cents each for getting all those.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's a ton of stuff that I already own. But if you don't own a lot of it or whatever,
this is a tremendous deal if you don't own it already.
I'm pretty sure Terraforming Mars is $10 alone.
Yeah.
Just to give you a context there. And if you also want to support the show, if you go to MeepleCore.com and click our Humble Bundle partner link there, that will take you to Humble Bundle. I don't 100% know if that's still working with the way Humble Bundle works now. So if you do, check us out on Facebook. I'm going to make a link to this bundle. Just click the link that you see on our Facebook post.
Yep, sounds good.
And check it out there. But otherwise, you can check out patreon.com/MeepleCore. We have 4 games that we're going to go over: Dice Miner, Sanctum, Calico, and Dune. And so first up on this episode, we have Dice Miner.
This is a 2021 game. The designers are Joshua Debonis and Nicola Ristecki. The artists are Lil Chan, Brigitte Indelicato, and Grzegorz. I'm so sorry. Petergs. Yep. That's what I'm going to say.
Nailed it. I'm cool with this. Obviously, this game is not out yet, I don't believe. We are playing this on Tabletop Simulator, so we're just going to talk about it a little bit. To kind of give you the rundown, Dice Miner is a dice drafting game where you have this kind of like a cardboard mountain that's at a slope, and you pour from the bag all the dice randomly on this slope. There's a little ledge that the dice will stick in. And so all the dice are oriented like little diamonds, right? So instead of being like a square, you turn them sideways and it's a diamond. And they're all laying on top of each other. And you're going to take turns drafting all the dice on this mountain until all of them are gone. And then you're going to move on to the second phase. But during this drafting phase, you can only take a die that does not have a die on top of it. So I said they're kind of oriented in like a diamond shape, which means that 2 of the sides on, the top sides can have a dice on it. If it has 2, it's obviously buried in the middle. If it has 1, it's considered a side dice because usually it's like, open on one side. Otherwise, if it has no dice above it, it is free to grab. However, if you draft a beer, once you draft the die, it goes in front of you with that side that you draft because you're drafting that specific side, that face. And if you draft a beer, you can start your turn and be like, hey, George, I'm going to give you this die. You have to commit to who you're giving it to. Then you say cheers and you roll the die and they get to keep it. But now
it's so friendly. Give them a beer. Yeah,
it is friend. Yeah. Cheers. Because obviously you're dwarf miners.
Yeah.
So you get to draft 2 dice at this point. And they can also be side dice, not just open dice that have no dice on top of them. So it gives you a little bit of room. Once you draft a die that's got a side, then, the dice might fall down or whatever.
Yeah, it gives you so much more flexibility.
Yeah. Once you've drafted all the dice on the mountain, then you go on to the magic phase. And in the magic phase, you're basically just these blue dice that you've drafted have magic symbols, 1, 2, or 3. And it allows you to like reroll dice. Then you move on to the scoring phase. And in the scoring phase, it's pretty simple. There's 2 major type of scoring dice. Well, actually, there's like 3, I guess. One of them is the standard white dice. There's more of these than anything else. They have everything has a beer side. So this has 5 sides. It has a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Standard dice sides, right? you will get points for every set that you have, but the set has to be in sequential order from 1. So if you have a 1, 2, 3, and a 4, you get the 1, 2, 3, and a 4 make up a set from 1, a straight from starting with 1. And that will be, 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 points. That additional 4 that you have is nothing because you don't have a 1, 2, and a 3 to pair with it. So you want to draft dice and get sequential sets starting with 1. There are the treasure dice, which are like little gold nuggets. Most of the sides are a 1, but there's also a 2 and a 3 side. You get 1 point for every nugget that you have, but if you're the person with the clear most, so if I have 7 and George has a 6, then I will actually double the amount of points I have. I would actually get 14 instead of 7. If 2 people tie, then nobody gets it. Other than that, you get negative points for drafting hazard dice, but there's a reason to draft them. Hazard dice have like falling rocks and dragons on them, and those are negative points. But for the falling rocks, for both, there's the green dice, which are like the tool dice. And if you have a pickaxe, it actually makes your falling rocks positive points instead. And for every additional pickaxe, it actually doubles it. So if you have 3 falling rocks and you have 1 pickaxe, you get 3 points instead of negative 3. If you have 2 pickaxes, it actually gives you 6 and then 9, then, 12. Same thing with the dragons, and the tool dice also have a shield that counteracts that as well. Then you're going to move on to the last phase of the round, which is the, I don't remember what it's called, but it's like a stashing phase, basically. Oh, replenish phase. And you can, if you have the tool dice, one of the sides is like a treasure chest. You can spin these treasure chests to like keep dice on the facing that they have. Because at the end of the round, at the end of that replenish phase, you roll all the dice that you have, except for the ones that you stashed. Kind of like a Yahtzee mechanic, I guess. And then you're going to start the next round where you feed the mountain back. You put all the dice back in the mountain and you do that whole thing again. But now you're drafting new dice and adding them with your old dice. And then you're going to do it a third time. So you get a ton of dice throughout the whole game. And at the end of the third round, whoever has the most points is the winner. Additionally, each player gets to have a hero at the beginning of the game. All these they have like 2 or 3 dice faces on them, and you can use them as if they were dice throughout the game, and they, always stay that symbol. So that's pretty much it. George, let's start with you because you had the most dramatic shift in thought about this game.
Yes, man, did I have a rough start to this game. This is a drafting game, and you can just end up to where you're in a turn order that you don't get what you need ever. And it can go on for a while. And I had a rough beginning. And I would have said I hated this game. But, this game really surprised me in the end. The way that it turned itself around. I had an incredible round, even with 2 bad rounds leading up to it. And I nearly turned the whole thing around. And I could see at that point that there are ways to really, mitigate what is happening to you in this game. By the end, you're going to do okay, typically, even if it seems like you're not.
Yeah, man, this game, I wanted to back it on Kickstarter and I didn't. And now I'm kind of regretting it.
Well,
because
there's
it's
a cool,
so fun.
Mountain that I don't know if this comes with the Kickstarter, but it looks like the mountain, is made out of like a 3D printed something.
Yeah, that's I think they had a deluxe version upgrade where you can buy like the mountain.
Yeah, that looks pretty cool.
And it's like a plastic mountain that you can paint and everything. Otherwise, it's like a cardboard mountain that you put together.
Yep. Yeah.
I'll be okay with the basic game. I'm fine. I mean, the mountain would have been cool, but I feel like the box is really huge in that version because the cardboard mountain you can disassemble.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
But this is one of those games where I'm really glad we played it, and I'm really excited to own it now. I'm totally waiting for this one to hit retail. It's just got this cool. The game's simple: draft dice, and simple. That's it.
Yeah, it has just enough going on with the rerolls from the magic, and the powers that the player characters have. There's honestly just enough. Yeah,
and let's talk about the cheers mechanic where you hand a guy a beer because like you said, it's nice. It is not. It is vicious because first off, you can be cheersing a hazard die to somebody who hasn't been drafting anything to defend against it, which will end up being negative points for them. But if you're giving it to the wrong person, everybody else is like, what are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. You know, it's like, it's a lot of table discussion. Don't give him that. He only needs a 2. And if he rolls it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. That was fun. That was a fun mechanism. It kept everyone, interested in what was happening, even when it wasn't your turn. And the turns go fast anyway.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. I'm not into dice games and I hate dwarves. I do. I always have.
Fantasy dwarves.
Yes, right. Yeah. Yes, let's be clear. I do not have anything against little people. But fantasy dwarves really just rub me the wrong way, and they always have. But even considering that, I had a good time with this one ultimately. In the beginning, I did not have a good time. Ultimately, yeah, I did. It was a cool the last round of this game was really fun for everybody.
Yeah, and I'll mention one thing. We played Castles of Tuscany recently, and we didn't like the scoring mechanism where it's very top heavy, meaning that the points you score in the first round, you also score in the second and third round, right?
Yeah, I hated that.
This game has that, but you have to go after it because you have to collect treasure chests to keep those dice in play. Otherwise they get rolled.
Yep.
Which is going to disrupt what you were doing. And it's a really fun, because if you're drafting stuff to get to do that, then you're weakening the new dice that you get to keep around. You know what I mean?
Absolutely,
so it's like it's a cool balance. Props. This is a good game.
It was shocking at the end of the game when everything sort of balanced out. I was floored by it, honestly.
And I love the fact that there's negative points in there, but there's stuff you can do about it. It's all about drafting like mitigation stuff. You could draft the magic in order to re-roll and stuff. And like, what's even cooler is like some of the character powers. I call them powers, but the dice faces they have. At first we were like, man, that one's so good. And the other ones were like, I don't really like mine. And then later we're like, oh, I kind of like mine better.
Yeah, it really worked out. This isn't a game that is going to be enthralling. This isn't, this is a filler. This is like a quick, get the game out, get everyone, going filler. Very easy to teach, very easy to play. Fun. It's entertaining. It's not going to be, you're not going to be fascinated by this and want, to just play it again and again and again, but you're going to want to play it, multiple times over, several, weeks or months or whatever. Like this is just a fun game.
It's a good game to bust out. I mean, it says 20 to 30 minutes. It took us about 45, but that's on digital.
Yes.
And there's no scripting. So like trying to put all the dice up and everything was a little bit of a chore.
Yep.
In real life, I think it would go a lot faster. People just reaching and grabbing it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So
good stuff.
Well, cool. Yep. I'm very excited about it. Anything else you want to part with, or are you good?
No, I liked it, to my surprise.
Yeah. I don't know if this actually has a release date, because I'm not sure that the Kickstarter, of course, by the time it just says unreleased. Well, anyway, check it out. Dice Miner. It says 2020 edition, but I think that's when the Kickstarter was up and finished. Maybe it is out. No, I don't think it is.
If it is,
anyway,
track it down.
Yeah, track it down. I'm pretty sure it's not out yet, but when it's out, check it out. It's a very fun game. Very family game, but it has some stuff going on for it. So
yeah.
Anyway, that is Dice Miner. Next up, we have Sanctum, and George is going to attempt to pronounce these names.
That's right. This is a 2019 game, and I've just decided I'm actually going to read the one line that Board Game Geek puts below the titles as well. This is a game where you make your way to the fallen city of Sanctum, gather loot, and defeat the Demon Lord.
Why have we never done that? That's actually kind of neat. I think that's new on Board Game Geek anyway.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. They're trying to make one sentence descriptors for every game. And this game is designed by Philip Neduk. And the artists, apologies in advance, are Jiri Kus, Andrzej Hrdina, Jakub Politzer, and František Sedlacek, we're going to say.
That's fair. Publisher?
Sorry, the publisher is Czech Games Edition.
Yep. All right, so just a quick note. We did receive this as a review copy, although we have played it on Tabletop Simulator as well. And I 3D printed a giant like in boss dude. It's called a Demon Lord. It's on a Thingiverse, simply so I can put it on the board and play it. And I have not finished painting that, so I'm very saddened that it wasn't painted by the time we played it. But anyway,
it was called a Demon Lord. The model, it had nothing to do with the game. And then the game itself.
Somebody just made it and put it on there. And it basically looks like Diablo, but let's be honest, this game looks like Diablo. So.
Absolutely. And they're both called Demon Lords. The game has a Demon Lord. That's what it's actually called.
They are. All right. So just a really quick overview of Sanctum. If you've never seen it or hadn't heard of it, or, maybe heard and didn't know the rules. Basically, it is kind of like a Diablo, the board game, except for it is a competitive game. It is not cooperative. I'm sure we'll revisit that. So let's put that aside. What you're doing in this game is going through acts, like ACTS, right? Just like you would in the video game. No affiliation. Obviously, this game has nothing to do with Diablo, but it's heavily inspired. Yeah. But you're going through these different boards, and these boards represent different acts of the game. And they basically just have spaces. And when you move, you go to the front of the line. Right. And when you go there, you only have like 3 options. You can move, fight, and you can rest. When you move, you're actually going to go to the front of the line, and that space is going to show what demons spawn from which of the decks. And those, you have to pick those and put them in front of your player board. And when you fight, you're actually going to roll a pool of dice, and kind of like I guess like a Yahtzee style system where you're assigning these dice to the dice on the bad guy, and you'll kill them, right? But you don't get to reroll like Yahtzee. You just simply roll one time, and then you're going to use a lot of your skills and abilities to modify the die rolls or maybe reroll them or whatever. That's where like the health and stamina come in. Unlike traditional RPGs and everything, your health and your stamina are just tokens that you can apply to these abilities, because the abilities might say like add +2 to a die, -2 to a die, or whatever, but they're either blue, red, or purple, meaning that you have to put your stamina tokens there on the blue ones, the health tokens, or whatever it's called, or it's stamina and focus. You put your stamina on, which is red, on the red spaces, the blue on the blue spaces. And if they're purple, you can use either one. You actually do have a health track. So if you can't assign all the dice to a demon, it'll actually hit you for damage and your health track will go down. But once you kill these demons, they flip over and they're actually pieces of gear that go into like your treasure kind of storage. And you can take the rest action to, number one, clear off all your tokens so that you can use all your abilities again and get your health and stamina and focus back. But you can also equip all these items and weapons to the different slots on your board and use those, which will increase your dice pool, or, I don't remember if those actually increase your dice pool, but they'll definitely give you abilities that you can put stamina and tokens on to mitigate your dice rolls. That's going to be most of the game up until you get to the last board of the game, in which you fight the Demon Lord or whatever. And he kind of works a little bit different. He puts out like this line of cards in front of each player, and that you have to survive and like beat on him over and over and over and kill the cards in order. And it's mostly the same stuff as the demons that you were fighting, but every couple of cards, there's also like a special ability card that when it flips, it's like, this bad thing happens to you. And then you still have to roll dice to kill that card, right? And then if you're the person who does the most damage or kills it or whatever, you clearly win. If there's like, if you only got so many cards in, but somebody else tied with you, then it really comes down to whoever has the most health left. And there's some other tiebreakers or whatnot, but that's basically what you're doing. The last thing I'm going to mention is actually the leveling system, because I think it's the most intricate part of the game, where on your player board, you have like 2 big player boards. Like one is like you have your spots where you can equip, and the other board is actually a grid of cards and tiles that start off with all these different tokens on there. There's like red, blue, blue, and green. Basically what happens is as you kill demons, they will give you experience in the form of red, blue, or green gems. And all that means is you get to move those gems that are on your actual grid of abilities. You get to move them up. And if a card ever becomes cleared of its tokens, you get to claim that card. If it's a tile, it usually just gives you like permanent stamina or focus upgrade. So you get more tokens for that. If it's a like card, it usually flips over and becomes a special ability in which you can assign tokens to, or it becomes a passive ability that goes on like your passives, and it just, obviously the passive have all kinds of different abilities. And on top of that, those, that's pretty much it. I won't go too much detail into that, but that is kind of like how the leveling system works. Oh, I guess the last thing I'll say is as you're moving those tokens off, those red, blue, and green tokens, those are also what you need in order to equip the equipment. Because in order to equip like a helm, it might need like 3 blues. So you have to actually level up to gain those tokens off of those cards, which is going to give you those abilities, but also give you the ability to equip that helmet or whatever you need those blue ones for, and stuff like that. So that's pretty much the game. If we need to mention anything else, we will, but that'll give you a general synopsis of it. And I'm going to start with me and say that obviously that part right there is by far my favorite part of the whole game.
Oh, yes.
I mean, I would assume you agreed. Yeah,
absolutely. That is the best part of this game. It is just incredible. It is genius.
It is such a unique and fresh take on leveling, because you're not just getting experience and be like, bam, I hit 10 experience. I leveled up, got all this stuff.
I got a new card. Yeah, no.
It's like you can choose this grid, right? The tokens in each of the columns go up. So if you want the heavier, like the cooler abilities, they're at the bottom, and you have to like move those tokens up. I mean, I guess you don't, in any case, you could just move them up one space and get that card. But in order to get those tokens for gear, you have to move them 3 more spaces to kind of clear the grid.
Yeah. So you're sacrificing the ability to equip items, which you desperately need, for the ability to get extra abilities. It's this balance.
Or a cooler ability or whatever.
Oh, it's so good.
And like just the game's dice system and stuff, it's like not the standard Yahtzee, roll it a bunch of times. I mean, it sometimes you wish it was, but once you roll the dice, you have to use all these like you're using your actual abilities in the game to do the damage and stuff. It's just a really cool representation of that.
Yeah. That's the most fun part of the game.
Yeah. How'd you like the boss battle? Like typically I'm not a big fan of games that have like a phase A and then like a phase B ending.
That is entirely different.
Right. It is different. Yeah. In most cases, I would say I hate it. There's other games like that. There's like one by a Privateer Press called Heap. It kind of did this. Like you build this like car or something as you're playing. And the very last stage is like flip all your cars over and nothing mattered. And it's like, what? Yeah.
I enjoyed the final boss battle, because it was tense. You were really just getting the snot beat out of you by this guy. And you desperately, had to make your rolls. But by that time you had so many things to mitigate it that it was a fun puzzle. I actually enjoyed that part.
It seemed impossible in that first round though. Like
yes,
what?
It really did. And I had a better, feeling about the end of the game simply because ultimately everything did work out for me. And I managed to take the bad guy out. But I know a lot of people will feel that is too hard at the end. And I can see how if I didn't make the rolls in the way that I needed to make them, you're sort of at the mercy as to what your dice do for you at that point.
Right. The game is designed in a way that you really don't get actually hurt throughout the game unless you're just really just trying to like push through something, right?
Yeah.
Your health is really for the end boss. It's really about gearing up the best until you get to the end and then seeing how well you can, like some of the mitigation through the boss fight with the Demon Lord is not dying and losing all your health.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's like a big thing. On paper, it's like when somebody told me that in the beginning and when I read about it, I was like, man, I don't know if I like that. But as we played it, I really enjoyed it. So
yeah, I think I did too. I think it was enjoyable. It was very different, but I still enjoyed it. Yeah.
The only thing I didn't really care too much about was the achievement system, which I didn't mention. Like other games, there's a board off to the side that's like first player to unlock these like 2 or 3 level skills or whatever.
Yes.
You get like some bonus, and all it is a one thing mitigation at the very end. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's huge. It saved my life.
It is huge, right? But it almost feels like a rich get richer, but like in a needless way.
Yeah, like a snowball effect. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. No, that's a good point.
They could get screwed on rolling their dice and have to spend a lot more tokens than you do. So
yeah,
I guess in the end, the achievements, even if you had like, I think I had like 1 and everybody else had 3 or 4 or something crazy.
Yes.
And I still did pretty well. I came down to almost killing it, but I died like 1 round before.
Yeah, it was close.
And then 2 of us made it to the end. So whatevs.
If you would have had 1 more of those things, you might have done it. I
might have. Yeah. So like, I wasn't focused on it so much because I felt like, I'm not saying it was a bad thing. It's just not something I was like, whatever, it's there.
Yeah. Well, I enjoyed the boss fight at the end because of how difficult it was. But at the same time, I did have all those rerolls for having done those achievements. Like, I kind of raced through the beginning and got things just to get those tokens.
Right.
Although I enjoyed it, the boss fight at the end just, I like co-op games anyway. It just screams, this should be a co-op game. Why are you competing with each other for who has the least, amount of health lost at the end? I don't know.
Here's what I have faith in, right? Czech Games made Adrenaline. They made the Team DLC expansion that added cooperative. It's like team-based play.
Yeah.
If this came out with an expansion, all I'm asking is 2 things. 1, extra characters, because 1, the characters are amazing.
Yeah, they're great.
They are all different. They have this unique flavor to them. You're playing an archer or whatever. You really feel like you get this archer type abilities and such.
Yes.
And just for a dice rolling game, it really worked out. And cooperative play. Like some sort of, I wouldn't really say campaign, even if it's like a campaign book of like 6, things, like have a boss at the end of each act or something, or
that'd be great too.
Some kind of cooperative
different
play.
Bosses, but cooperative against them all. Oh, that'd be great.
Yes, dude, it would be so cool.
They need a big box for this. They need because they also need to add more monsters. And when I say that, I mean monsters that have different abilities, different attacks, like
kind of like the Demon Lord's abilities at the end when you flip it over and it does something special.
Right. Yes. Like the various minion monsters need to feel different. They need to have more menace. They need to have more just variety in the monsters.
Yeah, like there's characters in Diablo, when you kill them, they explode and things like that. You can have it like, you can kill this on like 2 6s, or you can kill it with like a 3. Yeah. But if you kill it with a 3, it does an explosion. And maybe it won't actually do health, but maybe it'll drain some of your focus or stamina tokens.
Yeah, or
so you have to rest.
Or these monsters, they poison you, or these monsters shoot arrows at you somehow. These monsters explode and damage the whole party. I don't know. Like you're saying, just something different.
Yeah, because when you always have like 5 groups of monsters to pick from, and that would actually change like a lot of the choices. Cause I'm just like, I don't care what it is. I just need reds, or I don't care what it is. I don't want them to have like a bunch of 4s. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
So if they also had abilities tied to it as well, that would be super cool. And they should also have some rare monsters. Like in Diablo, there's always this guy with a loot bag that runs around, drops a bunch of money.
There you go.
Have it as a character that just has like, a 4 to kill or whatever, but then it's white cubes. You know what I mean? Or something.
Something great.
Was that nothing was white, right?
I don't know.
Maybe there was white cubes and I'm forgetting.
I feel like there was.
Yeah, because I think white was the you can move anything.
The wild. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, maybe it drops more potions or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just for killing it. Like you flip it over and it's not an actual piece of gear, but it's like gain 2 potions.
Exactly. I will say the art in this game is great. It's really well done. And they had to have all the art for the monsters be the same for each class of monster so that you didn't know what you would get when you flipped it over to see the loot on the back.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So I don't know how I feel about that. It's good art, but then you're seeing all the monsters the same. If they made a big box version and they separated the art and you had a deck for the loot, then it wouldn't be tied into a certain class of I don't know.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying, but I'd be happy just with co-op and extra guys.
Absolutely.
And then maybe come out with something later, but
I love the idea of co-op plus a story, like a campaign and different monsters that you go up against, different bosses, and there's a story to it. That would be amazing.
Like even if you're not using the board and it comes out and it's like, this is the stuff that spawns, talk amongst who's going to draft what, do that a few times and then you fight a boss. and then do it a few times and you fight a boss, a story, maybe have some arcing stuff. I mean, almost like a choose your own adventure, kind of. Not really, but maybe just with a couple different paths.
Or you could really go all out with it and do sort of a role player adventure kind of thing.
That would be cool too.
But
Diablo is mostly just about killing everything in sight. So
Okay.
the story is kind of meh.
That's true.
All right. Well, to keep this short, let's wrap it up. Anything else you want to mention, or?
Yeah, I just feel like there's not a lot of interaction and not a lot of co-op. Obviously, there's not co-op. We need that. We need to be able to help each other. We need to be able to, pass dice to each other in various ways. That would make this 10, really.
That's fair enough. I would say, even if you read, because there's a lot of mixed reviews out there, I think, if you like games like Diablo, like hack and slash games, this is definitely one you should check out. I think it's great. And I mean, it's not something I'm going to bust out all the time, but I'm happy to play it if somebody asked.
Same here.
It's got this epic feel and all this stuff going on. And yeah, there's a lot of rules, but it's not rules that people are going to be like, what? Yeah, because it just makes sense. You're just translating a hack and slash into a board game with dice rolling. Yeah. And it's easy to explain, even though it does have a decent amount of rules in comparison to like, medium weight games and stuff. Not that this is a heavy game. It's just, there's a lot going on. You're explaining a game just based on your character's board. And then you explain the game, how to actually play and move around and do stuff. So
yeah, the changes that you get with the gear that you get, the tech tree and how you move those gems up to level up your character. That's just brilliant.
It's so good.
Yeah.
So good. All right. Well, we're looking forward to an expansion. Anyway, that is Sanctum. All right. Next up on this episode, we have Calico.
This is a 2020 release. The tagline is, sew a quilt, collect buttons, attract cats. The designer is Kevin Russ. The artist is Beth Sobel. And the publisher is Flatout Games.
All right. So basically in this game, you're going to have, I believe it's a hand of 2, right? Yeah, 2. It's a hand of 2 of these tiles. These are hexagon tiles, and you're going to play one to your player board. Your player board's like a quilt, right? And it has all the spaces empty except for the edges, and you're going to fill in every space on your quilt, and then the game ends. And then you count up points. That's pretty much a simple version of it, right?
Absolutely.
So on your turn, you're going to play a hex from your hand into a space. Now, there are 6 different colors and 6 different patterns of lines, or, whatever the pattern is. It can be like a leaf pattern or, whatever, lines or stripes. There's 6 different of those, 6 different of the colors. So there's like 36 combinations of tiles or something. Is that correct? Let's quick math. Yeah, 6 times 6, right? It's 36. Anyway, you play one, and then there's always going to be 3 options out, in the middle of the table, and you're going to take one of those into your hand. The last one gets killed off. Those move down, and a new one flops out. So everybody's always going to have 3 to choose from.
I think of each of those combinations, there are 3 in the game.
Yeah, there we go. Math. If you want to super game this, you need to know it. Anyway.
Yeah.
As you're playing these, though, there's a few things you need to watch out for. One, at the beginning of the game, you actually have these, I don't know what the actual, like, goal tiles or something there's 3 of them that go on your board, and there's spots on the board for them. And they're going to have different patterns on them, like, for instance, AABBCC or, AABBCD. And what that means is the 6 spaces around that hex at the end of the game, you're going to get points if you have, in the case of AABBCC, if you have 2 colors that are the same, 2 colors that are the same, 2 colors that are the same. So 2 pinks, 2 blues, 2 yellows.
3 pairs of colors.
3 pairs. Right. Yeah. And it also has a second value on it if you also get the opposite things matching too. So if you match the colors and you match the patterns to those pairs, you get bonus, get a better point value out of it.
Right. So if you did both, you would get the higher point value.
Right. Correct.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if you just had patterns, but you didn't really get AABBCC in colors, then you only get the lower value.
And it's anywhere around that hex. So the A and the A don't have to be together. The B's don't have to be together. You just have to have 2 reds touching it, 2 blues. They don't have to, the blues don't have to touch each other, and then 2 yellows, let's say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In addition to that, if you make a cluster of 3 or more of the same color, you get a colored button, right?
Yes.
Which are, what are they, like 3 points at the end of the game or something? I guess it doesn't matter.
They are 3 points at the end of the game.
Okay. And then there's also these 3 cat tiles that you put out, to cat boards. I think there's 5 or so that you can choose from. And
7.
3 of those will be in the game. Maybe there's more.
9. There's a bunch.
Oh, there's only going to be 3 in each game though.
Yeah.
And each one of these will have some sort of requirement to get it. Maybe it's have 4 of a specific type of pattern in a line, or maybe have like 5 or 7 plus of a cluster of a certain pattern. They always work off the patterns. The buttons work off the colors.
Right.
And when that happens, the cat gets really excited about your quilt, walks out, you pick up one of his tokens and he lays on your quilt.
Yeah.
And that gives you points. And that's pretty much the game. After everybody's filled up their whole board, you count up points, and that's it. And whoever has the most points is the winner. So very simple game. I'll be honest with you. If you're not massively into cats or quilts, you're going to maybe not see this and be like, that's a game I got to have. But I'm going to tell you, this game is absolutely fantastic. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
All right, you go ahead and start on this one.
I have made no secret of this. I love this game. This is my game of the year for 2020. Absolutely, hands down. This is a game that I was like what you just said. I thought it was about quilts and I avoided it at first. And then I realized, okay, it has cats. Now I'm somewhat interested. Okay. But I still thought quilts, buttons, I don't care. No, this game is puzzly. It is a lovely, like, thinky, head down. You're doing this puzzle. You're not messing with other people's boards. You're doing your own thing. Everything is your own fault.
Although you can hate draft tiles from other people.
Yeah, you can, but hardly. You hardly
Yeah, because
can do
it's
that.
really, if you hate draft them with something they need and you don't need it, it's like, man, I don't need this at all.
You're killing yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, there's not much hate draft in this game, I don't think. It's a game where you're doing your own thing as much as you possibly can to try to maximize your points. And a lot of that is pushing your luck, because you have to decide, am I going for this just in the patterns, or am I going to go for it? I'm going to go patterns and colors and then really make it to where at the end of the game, I've painted myself in a corner. Or am I going to try to just put 3 sets of colors together and get lots of buttons? Am I going to just go for cats? Am I going to try to put patterns together and not worry so much about the other things? There's so many ways to get points. It's just, as you fill in your board, you start to constrain yourself, and it's really push your luck, and it's tremendous.
Yeah, such a good game. I was floored by the time, like halfway through it, I was like, this is great. I love this. Because you do have to really look at other players' boards, not really to see how they're scoring or anything, but you're like, man, I need the blue one with the stripes. And you look around, you're like, man, he has one. She has one.
There's only one left. Yeah.
There's only one left. Do I chance it and hope that it comes out in such a way that I can actually draft it? Or do I just give up on that? And then you have to like reconfigure in your mind which colors and patterns around that scoring tile you need to like start doing. Yes. Well, I was going for 2 pinks, but now I got to do 2 blues and dude. And while you're doing that, then you think, well, I can't go for greens or whatever because the scoring tile next to it, I need to put these colors there.
Yeah. It's so easy
crazy
to overlook how you can damage yourself by putting the wrong thing in the wrong spot in the future. And you really do have to think pretty far ahead as to what you're trying to do just to keep from stepping on your own feet.
Yeah.
It's genius. It's such a simple game, but it's so thinky and so satisfying. It's really pleasant. The whole game is charming. The art is great. It's just, the components are fantastic. We played on Tabletopia, or Tabletop Simulator maybe, but the actual physical components are top quality. They have those recessed boards that the tiles fit into. They've got lovely little cat tokens. Everything's thick. Everything feels good. Everything looks great. The graphic design of this game also makes it game of the year.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's such a simple look but it makes a lot of sense and it's functional. I mean,
Yeah.
man, I am absolutely buying this because it just blew my mind. Whenever I get around to it, I don't know if I have a definitive top 5 because there's no way I'm doing a top 10 of this, but like top 5 games that grew on me as I play it.
Okay.
This would be in there
Oh, yeah.
because, man, I don't know if that would even qualify because I liked it off the bat. So maybe it won't qualify for that list, but it is definitely, a game that is going to stick around, and you play it with different people. Obviously you might be at a slightly different disadvantage if somebody else has played it more than you, but you're still going to have a lot of fun as long as you like to think.
Yeah.
So,
and
quite a bit of analysis paralysis, possibly.
it's possible, but I haven't seen it. Honestly, I haven't seen it.
Right.
Because, you kind of are thinking ahead. You have
only have
ideas.
2 tokens. You're like, where do I put them?
Exactly. And on your turn, you take a token, get rid of a token. That's all you do. Like,
Yeah.
it can't take you that long. Yeah.
True.
It's
At
good.
some point, you're just going to be like, well, YOLO.
And you just go. Yeah, you have to. So the one of the greatest things about the game too is that it has a tremendous solo mode. And by that, I mean, yes, you can play just to get your best score, and that's still satisfying. It's the same game and you enjoy it. You have to think about the same things, but it also has all of these solo mode challenges where it says, these are the cats you're using. These are the tiles that you're trying to go for. Oh, and by the way, you also have to get this score or higher, and you have to have these buttons. Okay, good luck. It's like,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, it's got a lot going on in the solo mode. This is a great solo game.
It's like it adds challenges to it or something.
Yeah, it's a whole list of different challenges, and they get harder and harder. It's great. And it also has a family mode. The family mode is one in which you don't have to worry about putting all of the pieces around your hexes in those patterns because
those goals.
That's tough. Yeah, you just play for cats and buttons. That's it.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And little kids can do that. Grandmas can do that.
Has your grandma did it yet?
She hasn't yet, but we're going to. I can't wait.
Fair enough.
Yeah. She could do it. I'm sure she could do it. My grandma just wants to play llama.
So just retheme this. Llama, the board game. Llamas want to come sit on your quilt. Really good game. I don't have anything else to say other than that. I mean, definitely check this one out. If you like abstract strategy games,
Yes.
this is a phenomenal one.
If you like, I would say another game that you might think about with this one being a similar feel would be Sagrada.
That's fair.
Or Role
Yeah, 'cause
Player.
Yeah, I'd say Sagrada fits it more in line with it because of what you're doing with the dice and stuff.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Role Player is definitely a comparison to Sagrada, but yeah, I think Sagrada comparison with this, even though you're not messing with dice, if you play it, you'll see what we're talking about, just the patterns and
Absolutely.
and stuff.
Yeah, and just the planning ahead and the thinking and the gosh, I hope I get that thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
So good.
It's like, don't take that one, because if you take that one, if I had to change anything, that might be the only thing I would kind of modify, is that with more players, there's more tiles out there. Because if there's only 3, when you draft one, the end one gets removed on every player's turn, and then a new one comes out. So it's like, you can't ever hope that something stays out there long enough, because it's almost impossible that it will.
Yeah, actually, sorry, quick retraction, quick correction. This is my fault. We played it that way with multiple players because I had just played it as the solo game, and that's what you do in the solo game.
Oh,
You take a tile and you throw away the one on the end. That's how the solo game works. I'm so sorry. That's not how the multiplayer works. When we played it that way, it should have stayed. You just take one. The other 2 should have stayed. That's my
oh, okay.
That's
Yeah,
my
that's
fault.
way cool. Yeah. I mean, it didn't really change that much.
It didn't. We just shuffled the tiles more and put them back out again. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So
all
right, cool.
You could play that way if you wanted as a variant, but the official rules, you only do that for the solo mode. My fault.
That's fair. That's fair. But I mean, we're allowed rules mistakes.
There we go.
At least
Yeah.
it's not that make us hate the game totally.
No, at all, actually.
No, the game is fantastic. And that is actually kind of a crazy mode if you were going to do that as a variant anyway.
Yeah, it definitely made the game, just click right along.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, anything else?
Flatout Games has another game that is similar to this coming soon called Cascadia, which is also very, very good and enjoyable. I think I prefer Calico just slightly, but I don't know. Maybe check that one out too.
And if you're watching the video or something, this is episode 111. And we talked about Cascadia, I think, on 110, which is our most anticipated games of 2021.
Yes.
So check that out. Anyway, we're moving on. That was Calico.
Game of the year going to be, that's my prediction.
Spill the Horus right there. Bam. And last up on this episode, we have Dune, the reprint. This is the Gale Force 9 edition.
And this is from 2019. The Board Game Geek tagline is, wildly different factions vie for control of a planet through alliance and treachery. And the designers are Bill Eberly, Jack Kittredge, and Peter Olotka. The artist is Ilya Baranovsky, and the publisher is Gale Force 9.
So if you're not familiar with Dune as a theme or the IP, and you don't know anything about the original game, totally fine. That's the boat we were in. So
that's not quite true.
Well, okay, George, maybe you read the original book.
I've read the original books. I don't remember all of them. I remember Dune pretty well.
That's fair. I did look up the book series after we played this, and I might buy them, but then my problem is I buy books and I just don't read. So
that's the problem with books.
Right. If you don't read, they're kind of worthless. I read a lot of rule books, right? But when it comes to actually novels.
Okay. Well, what about like an audiobook or something?
Man, I listen to so many podcasts. I just don't have time for it.
Okay. I understand that. Yeah.
You know, although like now that we're working from home, I don't listen to as many podcasts either because I just did it on my commute.
Okay. Yes, me too.
And I can't do anything podcast or musical because I'm such an audible person while I'm working. Otherwise, I'm totally distracted.
Right. You couldn't listen to Dune while you were working, I'm sure.
No, I could barely listen to like a podcast about whatever, like stuff I don't even care about. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, I'm paying attention to this.
The oldies music, can't even listen. Yeah.
So just to give you all a really quick rundown of the rules, because there are plenty of rules for this game.
Oh, yes.
But the real quick understanding is the fact that it is a area control game in which you are trying to take over 3 of these 5 strongholds on the board. Now, you can ally with another player, and if you are allied, then you need 4 of the 5 collectively, and you must control them by the end of one of the rounds. The game plays either until somebody at the end of a round controls, 3 of 5 or 4 or 5, depending on if you're allied or not, and or it goes to 10 rounds. That's pretty much the game. So what happens is there are a bunch of different phases in each round. We're going to come back to one major thing where every faction in the game is different. So everybody plays a faction. We're going to do that separately. So if you just kind of get the idea of the game flow, then we'll mention other stuff later. But basically there's a storm that's going around this planet. And if you're not familiar with Dune, this is the planet in which spice is found. Spice is only found on this planet, and it's needed for like space travel. It's needed for certain factions, or I guess everybody, if they eat it and stuff, they can see the future and predict things.
And it extends your lifespan as well.
Yes, and it extends your life. So it's absolutely crazy. People want it, right? And so most of the factions, except for one, which is the Fremen, they live here. But all the other factions are shipping their guys in through ships onto the planet to take over the spice and to take over these strongholds to kind of, I guess the strongholds are so you can control the planet, because if you control the cities, you control the planet, right?
Well, yeah, the strongholds are controlled by each of the each of the factions, basically, in the book.
Oh, it kind of eliminates, story. Anyway, so throughout a whole round, what happens is the storm will move randomly. There's a way to randomly determine it. It's kind of not really worth mentioning, but basically it will move counterclockwise around the board. If you picture like the map as like a globe, like a circle, like a pie graph, then a slice of that pie is moving, and it's going to kill everything in its path, your people included, unless you're in one of the rocky spaces or a stronghold. Then, obviously spice is going to show up. So you flip out one of those cards. spice can show up. It tells you which region or territory that and how many spawn there. Sometimes a Shahilud would come out, which is the actual sandworms that pop out. Those will kill everybody in the territory that pop up, but it's also the only time that alliances can be made or broken. After that, there's like a bidding phase in which a card per player flips out. Everybody will bid on them. It's a blind bid though, so you don't actually see what the cards are, and you're bidding spice to purchase them. And then you'll revive some guys if they're dead from previous rounds. Then each player in turn order will ship their guys onto the planets. Obviously, except for the Freeman, who just spawns them out of like a certain territory or two. And then you'll spawn them, and then you can move. Then anyone who is in a territory with you can't be in the territory with an ally, but anybody who's in a territory with another faction will actually have a battle. Battle is pretty simple. Basically, you have a combat wheel that you will dial into how many of the units you have. So if you have 6 units there, you're saying how many you're going to commit to the fight. They will all die no matter what. So, if you commit all 6 and you win, you don't have really anybody there to control it.
Yeah.
I guess your leader token stays there, but
you're fully committing them to the fight. Yeah.
Yeah. He only stays there for a little bit. Anyway, so you're fully committing those. You can also put a weapon and defense card, and you have to put a leader if you have one. Obviously, if you don't have a leader, you don't have to put it, but you also can't play those weapon and defense cards if you don't. So you got all that stuff underneath the combat wheel. You reveal it at the same time with your opposition, and then whoever has the most points or whatever wins that fight. But the weapons will actually do stuff like kill the other guy. It's like if you have a weapon, it's like kill the other leader if they don't have a poison defense type of thing.
Yeah.
And so we'll come back to more about that. But that's how the fight happens and how you control things and knock people out of territories. Then everybody's going to harvest the spice if there was spice in your zone. And then you go on to the last phase of the game, which basically just checks to see who wins. And that's like the entire game other than the characters or the factions' abilities, which dramatically increase the amount of rules that are going on because all this crazy stuff's happening.
Yeah.
So there's some factions, like I talked about, most factions have to pay to ship their guys out. The Fremen, they live there. Their guys they revive all for free and they come out all for free. And then anybody who pays for the bidding phase, all that money goes to the Emperor. Instead of going to the bank, if the Emperor is a faction in play, he gets all that money. Whereas another faction gets all the money for people who pay to ship their people there. And then there's a faction which, George played, what was it? The Bene Gesserit?
Bene Gesserit, yeah.
Bene Gesserit, yeah. They can predict who's going to win. So they choose like which round and which faction is going to win. And if it actually happens, they steal the victory.
Yeah.
He also has like the voice, which he basically can tell you, you're not like the Jedi or something. You're not going to play a weapon card this round,
Yes.
And there's all kinds of really cool abilities. If we think of any that is worth mentioning while we talk about our thoughts, we'll bring them up. But that's pretty much the game. And I guess I'll start on this one. I will say this. I like this game a whole lot and I'm going to buy it, but I also still have a couple of mixed feelings about it. Like for one, you got this cool world that represents Dune, but I feel like it's just nothing. It's just like a bunch of blank spaces.
It's just beige. Yeah.
Well, I don't even mean that. I mean, just you have you have the rocky areas and the sand areas that protect, like the rocky areas protect you against the storm.
Yeah.
And the sand areas, you just die if you're there, right?
Yes, but the sand areas, that's where you get the spice.
That is where you get the spice, but I don't feel like there are alternate rules to this game. We did not play the advanced game. We played the basic game, which might clear up a lot of this because the spice flow is much greater in the advanced game. But I feel like one round, a spice come up on one space. It'd almost be cool if it came up on a few spaces.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So most of the board is just like the strongholds. I felt like, the character abilities, fantastic. And the best thing about this game, I'm just going to hands down say it. When you ally with somebody, they get a little card from you that gives you a taste of their faction abilities.
Yes, that's very, very good.
They don't just get all your abilities. They just get a small little thing, like a little sampling. And it's so cool. I like that.
Yes.
Probably the best out of the whole game.
It would be hard for me to pick the best thing about this game. This game is an absolute classic, and Gale Force 9 didn't mess with it. It plays the same way that it played from Avalon Hill back in, 79 or whatever. I got my brother this game, the original version, even when it was out of print, it was a lot. to get it because this game is amazing. This game is, I got him that one. And I also got him the version that Fantasy Flight did later without having the Dune license. And they called that one Rex. And it's the same game essentially. Just the map is a bit different. But this game is one of those games. This is the granddaddy of asymmetric games. And it's a classic and it's been around forever. And people are clamoring for a reprint for a reason. It's that good. If people understand their factions, that's the thing.
Yeah, this is a game that you can't say that you hate on the first time playing it. I mean, if you just don't like area control games, this ain't really going to do a lot for you. Maybe.
Right.
I would say try this one before other ones, though, because of the way the factions interact.
Yeah.
But I think two things. One, you have to know your faction. You have to know everybody else's faction.
You do.
And I feel like you have to play it with 6 players.
I would say 4 or greater.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it with less, but like, if you're missing one of the factions, it really kind of disrupts certain things. Like, there's a couple of factions you can leave out. In the rule book, it tells you if you're playing with less than 6, like which factions you should try to play with.
Right. Yeah.
To get the best amount of interactions going on.
Yeah.
Man, such a great game. I love the fact that the alliance building only happens during the Shah Halud if it comes out.
Right.
So you can't like backstab anyone. You can't be like, well, let's join up. And then like, you end up getting 3 strongholds and then sever that relationship and you just immediately win. I like that that's not a thing.
Yes. They've thought that part out for sure. And there can be combinations of alliances that make the game seem unbalanced. But if everyone understands the alliance, understands their factions, they can sort of work to keep that lack of balance in check. Everyone has to do that. It's one of these games sort of like Root, where everyone has to know how to keep everyone else in check or somebody's going to run away with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But when everything is humming, then this game is tremendous for the table talk, the diplomacy that has to go into making sure everyone's in check, and also the treachery that can be involved with the battles. You said the battles were simple. They are, but they're genius.
Oh yeah, they're like cosmic encounter level of like thought process,
Yeah.
Because man, is he really going to go all out? Maybe I put enough guys in there to scare him and he's going to commit everything and just wipe his army out. And then I'll let my buddy come in or what, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, there's so many just devious little tricks you can play.
Right.
Yeah.
And another thing I really liked about the game was the traitor mechanism, where at the beginning of the game, you shuffle up the leader cards of every faction that's in play. And then everybody gets like 4 of them and chooses one. And that leader, if you fight against somebody who has that leader, you can reveal it and be like, haha, he's a traitor. And you immediately win the battle.
Yeah.
And like the team the team Harkonnen, the House Harkonnen has 6 of them, I believe. Was it 6? Maybe it was all, I think it was 4. You get all 4.
Yeah.
And, man, that is such a cool mechanism because you're like, I don't really want to fight a Harkonnen because there's a good chance that you could have a traitor. But even if he has your traitor, I mean, you still have like 5 leaders.
Right.
So
it happens just often enough to be dramatic. It really is great.
And I made use of it so well. It was awesome.
You got so lucky.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. But the other thing is, which is really weird because I didn't even pick. I picked one fight and the other fights like I didn't pick.
Yeah,
they just came at me. And I'm like,
they worked out for you.
Okay, how's it going, my man? Flip. So,
yep.
Oh, really good. This game is fantastic. I don't think it's for everyone.
No,
and the game has an FAQ that you have to read, but I don't think you should read it the first time you play because it just makes things really muddy.
Right.
Play the game one time. If you enjoy it, read the FAQ, then play it again.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
if you're unsure of a rule as you're playing it, make a decision. Just go with it.
It takes way too long to look it up.
Yeah.
And the only other thing I will say as a hint, right? The shield wall has a card that's related to it. So ignore the shield wall until the card happens or read the card ahead of time before you play the game. Because it says nothing about it in the rule book.
Yeah. What the heck?
But it comes with like a destroyed shield wall token. And you're like, oh, what is this for? And it is absolutely not mentioned at all in the rest of the rule book except for the component list. Except there's a card that's in the game that flips out that destroys the shield wall and then makes like those strongholds behind it vulnerable to the sandstorm. So without knowing that, I was like, oh, this is driving me nuts. I don't see where it's talking about this thing at all.
Oh, man.
And we never had that card come out, so we never saw it happen.
Never mattered, yeah.
Afterwards, I was like, I gotta look this up. This is driving me nuts.
This game has rules on top of rules because all the factions have their own things going on. There are cards that do things. There's a lot to this game. That's a drawback. The other drawback is this game has wildly swingy lengths of play time.
Yes. You can't say let's devote 3 hours, because if you go all 10 rounds, that's maybe a 7-hour game.
Yeah. This can be a day long affair. But if you're into the theme, if you love Dune and you love games with diplomacy and a lot of back and forth, then it's worth it.
The only other kind of negative thing for me, only because I love the Spartacus game so much, the way it does it, the bidding, I don't really care for.
Yes.
You get a card, all the cards are face down. There's one faction who actually gets to look at it. So if you're allied with that player, they can tell you about the card. And the game allows you, if with the ally, you can communicate however you want. You can secret notes to each other, or you can text each other, whatever. Now, you can't write down stuff in the game. That player is the only player who can actually write stuff down.
Yes.
So they can write down who receives that card, what type of card they have, which really worked in my benefit, because if you're fighting somebody, he could be like, they have this defense card, this weapon card, this thing. And so it was really cool.
Absolutely.
But if George, was, paying attention or and saw me battle before, and that I have like a weapon poison card, the Bene Gesserit can say, if he's allied with a player that I'm going to go fight, he can be like, you can't play a poison weapon, or like a weapon or whatever.
Absolutely.
And so it's like, that's where it really matters to know all of the faction's powers and utilize them to your advantage, especially in an allied situation.
Yep. That's the best reason to ally with the Bene Gesserit, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such a great game. Absolutely buying this. And I'm looking forward to jumping in with the expansions too.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if they add too much, but
they just add other factions, I think.
Okay.
Oh, no. They actually add quite a bit. Never mind.
Well, there's one of them that adds the duel, and I personally would avoid that one. But if you're really into this and really into the theme, then it might be fantastic.
Yeah, I don't know if I want anything that's going to make the game longer.
Yeah.
So without doing something to shorten it initially and then adding that stuff back in,
Yes.
So.
This is a game that it's balanced. It's finely balanced. Timing is crucial when you make a big move. And that's the other thing. In the game, you get to move one stack of your army and that's it. You don't get to move all your armies. Like you were saying, you don't get to just get spice all over the board. You also don't get to just split up your army and move wherever you want. You get to choose one and move it. And so every decision you make is potentially crucial.
For sure.
Yeah. And so it's tense and it's involved and it's thinky and it's very interactive, very, very interactive. And that's probably what I like best about it.
Phenomenal game. Anything else you want to say, or are we wrapping this one up?
Nope. Classic.
Yeah. I'm very glad I played this, and I'm looking forward to playing it again. That is Dune. All right. Well, we've reached the end of the episode. Anything you want to say before we wrap up, George?
No. Thanks, everyone.
Fair enough. All right. Well, hopefully, if it works out, next episode or the episode after, we're going to have a guest.
Oh.
So we'll see. We'll see if timing works out.
Hope so.
Hopefully, because otherwise I got to think of a different agenda for that episode. So stay tuned. Anyway, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you again for tuning in as episode 111 of the MeepleCore Gaming Podcast. This episode was recorded on February 11th, 2021. Send us questions and comments to meeplecore@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at MeepleCore, and on YouTube at youtube.com/MeepleCore. Until next time, this is Tim Jennette, the Metal Meeple.
George Breden.
Keep on rocking and rolling dice.